Let's talk about Jira Service Management. If you're searching for a replacement for your current ITSM tools or simply are looking around on the market, comparing different tools together, I think this video is going to be very useful to you. Mostly because I'm going to focus on those areas where JSM is actually significantly better than the competition like ServiceNow or Service Desk Plus, for example. By the way, this video is part of our effort to deliver high-quality training and learning materials inside the Atlassian ecosystem. If you want to support this, consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, maybe somewhere towards the end if you see value in it. And also, of course, remember that we offer paid services in this area, including Jira Service Management, implementation, training, customization, and configuration. So if you will want to talk to professionals about this, you will find all the information in the description of this video and also right over there. Now, let's get back to the topic. Before I go into those three most interesting aspects, I also want to mention that if we are thinking about ITSM solutions, most of them, like I'm talking about, the ones that are the most popular ones, the biggest ones, the most appreciated ones as well, they all do have the common part that is more or less similar in all of those solutions. So the things I'm talking about is customer portal. Yes, of course, you need a place for your external customers to come and register incidents, register their requests and so on, right? So those tools have this. Also, if you go now inside a portal and you have agents who have to take care of those incoming requests, you need to have queues. You need to have some kind of filtering, and those tools usually have a quite advanced filtering available. You also need to have the ability to shift around the resources and manage them properly so that the queues and the inflowing incidents and requests are taken care of properly, right? Then, of course, to be able to manage those resources, you need to have extensive SLA and calendar configuration options. So again, those tools, including Jira Service Management, offer that. Customizable workflows and fields, including some context-relevant fields or dynamic fields, right? I've actually talked about this in the previous video, so you can watch this if you want to learn more about this. They, of course, allow to capture all of the necessary data, and thanks to this, you are able to service your customers to the best of your qualities and potential, right? Also, you, of course, want to be able to communicate with the customer, but also communicate internally. So again, all of those tools allow you to send notes to the customer, change statuses of the requests that have been registered, but also make internal notes that are not visible to the customer, are visible only to your employees, and the information contained there will not go outside of the tool. Another thing that those tools usually take care of is connection to the knowledge base. In the case of Jira Service Management, it's going to be a Confluence tool, or the Confluence tool, which allows Jira Service Management to have things like canned responses and automate the process of servicing the end customer effectively, right? Also, you usually want to have something like chatbots or chats available. Jira Service Management takes care of this with one of the available add-ons. Last two things I want to mention on this list is automation and AI. So especially in AI, all of the tools are pushing into this area very heavily right now. I would say actually that JSM is maybe lagging a little bit, but I'm sure that they will quickly catch up, and a lot of AI capabilities will be enabled in the tool in the upcoming months. Some of them are already there. In terms of automation, there is a broad spectrum of different kinds of automations that can be done in JSM. So like in any other tool, this is simply an area that is there, that already exists. And the last one is assets. So registering the assets inside your company or inside the companies that you're servicing, and also taking care of your CMDBs. So again, most of the top tools cover this area. If Jira Service Management covers all of that, where are the areas that we could say that, okay, I think I should choose JSM and not the other tool because of what, right? Let's get right into this. So I strongly believe that JSM is unbeatable when it comes to scalability. Now, what am I talking about? First of all, JSM is modular. I think I can use this word over here. It means that you get a core product that already has a lot, and actually I will come back to this a little bit later because it's worth mentioning what is included in the core product. But around the core product, you also have a whole universe of apps that allow you to extend the core product's functionality. And the number of those apps around JSM currently is more than 1,000. So if you're lacking some kind of functionality in JSM, there is a huge chance that somebody already thought about this and there is an app that does exactly what you're looking for, right? Of course, you will probably have to pay for this, but let's leave it aside. I'll come back to this one as well a little bit later. So scalability means that you can scale the tool according to your current needs in terms of the functionalities that you're looking for, right? That's one dimension of scalability. Another dimension of scalability is that JSM can be worked or can be used by small companies and also by large companies, right? And there is a big area of possible configurations that can take place. And if you want a very simple tool for a very small company, you can have this. And also, if you want to have a very advanced solution for a very big company, you also can have this, right? And I'm not saying that a small company cannot have an advanced tool. It's also, of course, possible. So there is that. Another thing that I want to point out in this area, right? So scalability, again, is the possibility of different kinds of integrations. So again, coming back to those apps, many of those apps actually allow Jira Service Management to integrate with external tools. So if you have the necessity to integrate with some other tool inside your company, or even tools outside of your company, maybe your customers, maybe your vendors are using something that you want to integrate with, there is again a good chance that it will be possible. Of course, if it's not, then there is a REST API available as well, so you can always write a custom solution for it, but that's another story, right? So that's point one, scalability, and I think really that this is a very strong suit of Jira Service Management. I mentioned those apps, but I also should mention that Jira is also building a whole suite of products around JSM, right? So like Opsgenie, which is actually currently, I think, included in the JSM, like Confluence that I've mentioned, right? But also like other tools that allow you to seamlessly integrate with other areas of your company, right? So imagine that you also want to, instead of covering just the incident management, you also want to be able to push those incidents if they cannot be resolved quickly to your developers team, right? And then you want to probably integrate with Jira software, for example. You might also use Jira Core. You may also use DevOps products that are around this functionality as well. So there's a whole family of different products, and this family is still growing. Even recently, there is a new product that has been pushed into the closed beta called Compass. And this is definitely a strong area of JSM as well. And I think it fits into the scalability too. All right, let's move to the second point. The second point is implementation time. Okay, very important, because if you want to now start your adventure with an ITSM tool, or you want to replace your existing ITSM tool with a new one, you will consider costs, you will consider time, which sometimes are very closely connected, right? And of course, you will consider the functionalities. So in terms of functionalities, I spoke enough. But I think that in terms of costs and time, well, since they are connected, the shorter the period you need to implement the tool and make it effective inside your organization, the better, right? Because of course it will cost less to implement this. And an average time of JSM implementation is shorter than other strong competitors on the market, like Jira sorry, not Jira, but like ServiceNow or Service Desk Plus, for example, right? So implementing JSM is pretty straightforward if you know what you're doing. And if you will be looking, for example, after making the decision to hire someone to do it for you because you don't want to do it by yourself and you want to use the best practices and experience of someone else, you know where to reach out to, right? Contact information in the description of this video, and we will definitely sit down and talk about this. Don't worry, it's just a free call, so it doesn't cost you anything. Now, if Jira is so versatile when it comes to functionality, where does this fast implementation time come from? Well, directly from that, because you can choose to implement JSM in a simpler way without all the fireworks around it, and it will already be a very functional tool. And then later on, if you have time and resources to do that and will to do that, you can keep adding on more cool and important and automated functionalities that will enhance your capabilities of servicing your end customers even further. And of course, the fast implementation time doesn't come only from this area, but I think that this is definitely something that is worth mentioning over here, because the tool itself is not super complicated. And of course, it will depend on, for example, how many additional apps you want to bring in and configure. But all in all, the configuration of JSM is on average shorter than any other tools, let's say, in the same tier on the market. The last point I want to touch over here is value or cost, for example, of licensing, right? So first of all, JSM is very user-friendly because it allows even small instances to work for free in this tool. If you have only up to 3 agents servicing your customers, the tool is free and you can use it without any charges. So that's already pretty cool. But now if you want to have a bigger instance, and many of you probably will, then the cost of single licenses is cheaper than, again, compared to the competitors. But there is an asterisk that I wouldn't be myself if I would not mention this. And of course, the asterisk is all those apps surrounding this, right? I said earlier that for most of those, you will probably have to pay extra. So now you should, of course, always consider the total cost of the core application and all the surrounding apps that you have to add to it to get all the functionalities that you need. It's hard to make the comparison over here, right? So I said that the value is there, but of course it might turn out that you add so many things on top of Jira that it will become more expensive than another tool in terms of the licensing, right? So it's hard to say, although you get those choices and you don't have to pay for like the whole suite of functionalities that you will never use because you don't need them. You actually can handpick and say, I need this, I need that, and I need that. And most of the time, this will be still cheaper. So to give you an example that may be very relevant over here, JSM at its core has not only incident management, but also change management and problem management. And if you look at Service Desk Plus, for example, if you want to have change management, if you want to have problem management, you actually have to pay for a more expensive tier of the product, right? So there are different things to consider over here. And if you will want to make a comparison, reach out to us and we will help you do that. But in general, I want to say that in most cases, Jira Service Management will simply be cheaper for you in terms of licensing. And I'm pretty sure that it will also be cheaper in terms of maintenance, which you will, of course, also have to do like with any other big tool inside the company. I do assume that this is a mission critical for you to have an ITSM tool working all the time. Now, if you've liked this and you want to learn more, you already know how to reach us. If you want to support the growth of the channel, consider subscribing and liking the video and putting a comment to let us know what was the most valuable aspect of all of the things that I've mentioned in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in one of the next ones.